at StockMiner.com. I'm Brian Johnson, and we had a little bit of more of the same. Move it down, pull it back up. So, bulls are buying the dips. They are not sold yet on selling the market. So, as you can see, it's more of the same attitude. We get a drop to here and a move back up to here, drop to here, bulls buy it up, big drop to here, bulls buy it up. So, it's been pretty much, as I said yesterday, lather, rinse, repeat. It's all the same stuff. This is just a little sloppy getting down here. Now, we did start to break some levels. I will say that. That was very interesting to me. However, not able to hold them. So, for you intraday traders, may or may not have had really anything to do here. This move down this morning wasn't long-lived before the bulls started buying it back up. But you can see we are starting to break these levels. 11,625, 11,600, 11,575. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's that level of support that we had been mentioning here in the last few weeks. Now, what's more important than that? Remember what we were looking at on the dailies? By the way, look how we came right back up to kind of test these moving averages right here. Didn't quite get back to them on the Dow, but as we push forward, we'll see. Remember what we talked about on the dailies? Yes, the 20-day, and there you have it. That was my really interested to see if we could A, break it, B, close below it. We got a touch of it, and we did not, of course, get the close below it. So, low of the day, 11,573. The 20-day at 11,572. Almost a perfect touch of the 20-day moving average. And you can see them buy it back up again. Now, I want to bring to your attention, we've seen this kind of motion before. In my book, right now, until we break the 20 and close below the 20, this is just a pullback. Let me bring to your attention this, though. Over here, we saw this drop. It took many, many days. It was very tedious, but the direction overall was down on this particular move. It's just a lot of lower wicks. So maybe we grind our way down in the same way we did this. Earnings are still going to make a big difference here. Still waiting to see how things play out with some of the bigger dogs as they release their earnings. NASDAQ 60 was actually really strong today. Apple was very strong today with the Verizon announcement coming out. I think it's tomorrow they make that Verizon announcement. I'm looking at more of a buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. So be very cautious if Apple gaps up in the morning. Don't be one of the suckers that is trying to buy at the opening thinking that you're in for a gold rush there. I'd be very careful. Matter of fact, I'd be more apt to short Apple if it gaps up tomorrow than I would go long. Little ahead of myself, I guess. Anyway, point being, look at the NASDAQ. Still very, very nicely to the upside, breaking these overhead levels. Not really holding, though. Pretty close. But you can see it getting very tired all day long. These 60-minute candles made upward progress, but boy, it was very, very labored. If you watch the markets at all today, it was extremely labored watching them. They really, really struggled to get anywhere. Friday's potential reversal candle turned out to be nothing. Yeah, it's nothing at this point. No confirmation. Nothing yet, anyway. Still looking for tests of the 20 and breaks of this 20. But right now, that big hammer candle, that's why I said you've got to know how to use and how to recognize these candles and how to use them in their proper context. Just wasn't sold on this one Friday. And sure enough, we didn't get much to talk about today. If we go sideways, maybe we do see a drop. But as for right now, today certainly didn't, or last Friday's candle didn't obviously serve as a reversal for today anyway. So nothing much except more bulls buying on the dips. As you see in the NASDAQ weekly, it's only Monday, not going to worry about it. SPX 60-minute came into this overhead resistance, and this one just about cleared both of them. Tried to at the end of the day, and then at the end of the day kind of bit the dust a little bit on this one. But you can see it trapped between the 20 and the 50. Overall, the daily, though, not even back to the 20. So the Dow showing a little bit more weakness, as it usually does. And you can see the SPX and the NASDAQ, of course, holding up very strong. Not back to this 20-day yet. This is what I'm looking for, touches of this. Now, continued weakness tomorrow, you bet. I think if we can get some continued weakness tomorrow, we will see the 20-day hit, even tomorrow maybe, on the SPX. I really think that's the direction of this if it continues to stay weak. We get back and above that 1270, 1275-ish range, then I think we're going to start pushing our way up and above, maybe that 1280 into that 1280, 1290 range, and potentially on to 1300 before this is all done with, depending on earnings. See how they turn out. Weekly, same type of a thing. We just started the week, won't worry about it here. VIX daily was up, so markets flat, really kind of down a little bit, I guess. NASDAQ was up anyway. Rest of the markets were about flat. And the VIX way up. Well, here we go again. Divergence. What have we seen in the past? It means absolutamente nada. All right. So we see a gap up. Markets go sideways. VIX is up. Markets go sideways. VIX is up again, and then it usually comes down. VIX just comes down. Markets go up. So I gotta believe that that might be exactly what we're looking at here. It rolled right up into some overhead 50 moving averages, if you want to track that on a TA standpoint. From a VIX, though, 2 weeks above this. This is really what we're watching. Can we hold above this one more day? Now, keep in mind, we can drop all the way down into the 16 range here in the VIX and not get back into the blue pattern we've been talking about. A lot of room to the downside, a lot of room to the upside. The VIX is really just in a consolidation here. No real call on that one. Apple, very strong today. Look at this. Up $6, almost 2%. Incredible run. NASDAQ just above flat for the day. And Apple off to the races, I think, with that Verizon announcement coming tomorrow. So I'd be watching that very closely. As I said, gap up tomorrow on Apple, I'd be very cautious on that one. I would not want to be... I'm just not sold on buying it. I'll show you why. Daily, very, very strong here. We've had a very strong push up since we retested the 20-day here, moving up into that 342-ish range. Like I said, it's anybody's guess where it stops. My best guess was this blue line on the weekly, and this is where we hit it. So I thought it was right around 340. It's 342 is still within it. I think it could go to 344-ish and still stay within this blue. For right now, maybe it's overhead resistance. We don't really know. This is a weekly chart. I have to wait till the weekly candle closes. But any gaps up and over this area, I'd be watching very closely in the morning for sellers to come in. FAS 60-minute moving basically, well, it's down a little bit, about 0.5%, down 18 cents. But you can see what it did. Gap down, find support, move right back up into resistance. This was actually pretty easy trading for you FAS, FAZ traders. I did not trade these today, but I watched the charts, and it was really pretty easy trading. This would have been very easy pickings if you had any idea of exactly how to day trade, or if you know what you're doing within the markets. This was actually very simple to trade. FAZ was just the opposite then. We saw a gap up. Not quite as clean as FAS was for me today. Watching it on the, watching the daily charts. Didn't quite make this little heavier area up here I was looking for, but did get right into 930. So 930, it gapped up. That is $9.30, not time-wise. And then, of course, a drop the rest of the day. Once again, pretty easy to follow this down, make a little bit of money, coming right back and sitting right on lower support on the moving averages, just as we saw the FAS kind of moving into resistance and the moving averages. Same type of concept here. Worked beautifully. This was a really nice trade if you want to pull a little bit of money out of it. Not a lot of move. It's maybe 20 cents. Not going to call the exact top and exact bottom. So being real about it, we're talking probably a real gain of about 20 cents here, but not a bad move overall. Okay. Daily, same type of a thing. Look, we're still stuck down here below the 20, below this kind of midpoint I have here, this thin blue line. I'm not interested in it till we get above 960-ish still, and then maybe 10, and then 1050, and add that 1080, something like that. If you want to build a position slowly, that's what I'd be looking at. To the downside, still below 850, looking at this blue line for your overall bigger support on the markets. We'll see if earnings come out and are what we expect them to be. And if they do turn out to be very good, this could still see a pretty rapid drop back into this lower blue line. Anybody's guess till we start to see the banks really come out with their earnings and give us a better idea of what's going on. Okay, want to save a little bit of time. I've been asked by people, what does your newsletter show? What does it do? What's it all about? Real quick, I do a video. It's just like this, except it's got more lines in it. I go into more detail about the markets. What does it include? Some of the things that I do is I like to pick individual stocks for us to watch. So when the markets aren't moving, we have individual stocks and we have ideas of what to watch coming into the week. Last week, these were some of the trades I had on. AAP, I had this one called below this 66 area for a short. Right below the 50-day moving average was my more conservative short, and then we held on to this, and a lot of people took profits here. Some of them waited till it got down in this area, but regardless, we did very, very well on this. So this is an idea. When the markets aren't moving a lot, I'm giving you stocks and stuff to look at in my video newsletter. ALB was another one that I had. If we go right to the daily, it's a lot easier to see. It was below the 20-day target of the 50. Now, we didn't hit the target until today, but we still made very good money on it at the end of last week. So below the 20, right down here was a nice shorting opportunity. And that one, the AMTD, was a long opportunity I gave to everybody. And this one was above 19. Now, we had a little fake out breakout down here, but this thing managed to come back up. There were a couple people that took the short trade. We lost a little money on that, but we did make it back on the move back over $19 and back into the $20 range. So you can see today this one's still running, still doing very well. I took it off my charts, but told people to watch it if they were in it from 19, and told them to stay long if they were in it and where to put their stops. So I give you ideas of entries, I give you ideas of stops once we're in it. It's a much more larger scale, bigger picture type of a video newsletter. I get into the Russells, I get into the dollar, I get into the FTSE markets, the overseas markets there, and then of course individual stocks. A lot more lines, a lot more trend lines, a lot more things to talk about, strategies of what I'm doing currently and how I'm playing the market and when I'm getting long and when I'm getting short. Nile was another one. On the daily, you can see we had a very nice move from 60 back down. I really liked it below 56. We had a little bit of money on this one. Today it's back up again, but this was another shorting up. This was another short we took last week and made pretty good money on it. Now, beyond that, do I send out intraday emails? People ask, how often do you send them out? When I see major things happening, I send them out. That doesn't mean that goes out every day. Sometimes I don't do even one in a week. But there are times when I really see something in the market that I want my students to be, or I want my newsletter people to be aware of. So this was one of them that I sent out last week. This was Friday. Blocked email addresses for obvious reasons. Markets are dropping nicely, but be careful if you're looking to go short. I think we may see a break in the action the next half hour or so. That was sent out 10:54 my time, which is 12:54 Eastern. So you can go back and look in your charts. Friday around 12:54 Eastern, we had been dropping very, very nicely, but it was coming into a huge conglomeration of support, and I wanted to make sure that my people knew, if you're short, you need to be careful. If you're looking to go short, now is not the time. You want to wait. That's when we got the big bounce. I think that was right around this time. It was within, I think, I said the next half hour or so, and I think it was within just minutes after I sent out the email that we started to get the bigger bounce. Here's the second one I sent out at the end of the day. Coming into the last half hour, let's see if the bulls are going to do it. And I like to guess at targets at the end of the day. 1266 to the lower, 1272 to the upper, and I think the markets close at like 1271.50 or something like that. So these are the types of things I do in my newsletter. If that is of use to you, if you think you can glean something from that that'll help you in your trading and help you make money, give it a shot. I don't entitle you to stick with it for months at a time or 6 months or 3 months, nothing. You can sign up for 1 month. If you hate it, quit at the end of the month. It's fine. But it's worth giving it a chance. If for no other reason than the extra information I give in the videos, well worth it. For just that alone, if you never take a trade, just for the extra information alone can help you immensely in your trading. So think about it. Give it a shot. It's well worth it. And I will see you again, as always, tomorrow. Bye.